So, Yasmin, do you feel black women
Mm-hmm.
are doing better than black men?
Yes.
Corporately, financially, property-wise, in all areas?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
So I'm going to go back to Caribbeans, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of my work ethic, obviously maybe it's from what I've seen, but whenever like growing up in school, when there was this like Caribbean versus Africans, I never understood it because yes, I think due to culture and spiritual tradition, Africans, we are married more.
Mm-hmm.
But just because you're married doesn't mean that the marriage has substance. So I had friends that maybe they were Nigerian and their mum and dads were married, but you haven't seen your dad in a couple of years because he has another family in Nigeria. Whereas my Caribbean friends, their parents were married, but I noticed that their dads were more like, oh yeah, I went DJing with my dad, or I went to do football with my dad, but their dads weren't in the house.
Yes.
So in that aspect, I feel like, you know, it does make a big difference in regards to like what you were mentioning about parenting. But I also feel like the reason why black women are doing well is because even though a lot of us are African, a lot of us are first and second generation, and we are, like, with all due respect, slowly assimilating into the British culture, what we used to defile Caribbeans for. So we're now kind of like going towards a matriarchal society, which I feel like a lot of Caribbean people in their households had already. I think the reason why, if you kind of go back from what I've noticed, is that a lot of the women, or even like Caribbean women, very adjacent to black women today, are matriarchal, because even I've noticed as a black woman that apart from doing well in corporate, one, there is this kind of like agenda, I don't know if energetic or spiritually, where let's raise the profile of the black woman so that we may not need the black man, but in turn what we're doing is demasculating the black man.
Do you think it's the black woman that's doing that by raising yourself? Puppets. You're inadvertently, really?
I think we're puppets. So how it would work is like, I even saw a lot growing up with like my mum's friends. You will have two black people, let's say one African, one Caribbean, just for argument's sake, right? You come here, you're on benefits, right? Being on benefits is not a problem, but then you're taught that don't let your man be on the benefit on the house, you know,
on the house,
because there was this mindset of that men are gonna mess up. So that's all cool. You're living with your partner in your house that you have as the benefits, but then life happens. A man is a man. He messes up, but he can't stay if you kick him out because his name is not on the list. He doesn't ever have to feel the responsibility of going out and grinding or working for his family because he doesn't have the pressures of having to pay rent because the government does. She then believes that apart from being peed off because maybe infidelity has occurred and he's out of the house, there's no incentive for him to want to go out there and work. She gets more money being a single mum. Now she technically doesn't need to put up with his shit because she knows that she can do it by herself. She's leveraged and dependent on the illusion of independence based on what the government assistance had.
Yes.
He now feels demasculated. He has no financial responsibility to his kids because they're taken care of. He now can create lots of different families because he's not taking care of it anyway. I think that's essentially what's being replicated now. But when we translate that into corporate terms, we are carrying the trauma of what black women have seen their parents go through, but we now have access to the corporate world where we're carrying the trauma of you can't depend on a man. Plus we've got the system using black women, I would say, as puppets, where we now can make more money. We raise the black women in corporate, but even if you go back to education system, we don't give black boys the same level of opportunity. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's very well.
Do you know, I'm sorry, the interview's done. She's just killed it. She just dropped everything. I mean, wow.
To be fair, I was going to say,
I mean, come on.
Is it that because I worked with a lot of work experience schemes, and I always find that there's always a lot more girls or women, young women of all different backgrounds, rather than there being boys coming through. And because I've worked there, I've challenged it, but ordinarily it wouldn't get challenged because most of the sort of HR, early careers people, they're women as well, because they want to get more women in. And it's just not boys coming through. And I don't know, I'm trying to figure out what is that? Is it that boys are just not focused enough at a young age and women are more so? And if so, why is that?
I think boys are focused enough, but I also feel like in the black community, you've got boys that are focused enough, but then there's also a certain archetype that gets you further. So what happens is, let's say now, you've got mum and dad living in a council flat, mum is taught not to put dad on the list, dad cheats, dad's out the house, dad doesn't have any financial responsibility because the government's paying for it, dad tries to make it in the corporate world, but you're not being allowed to do so, he creates other families. Then in a way, the mother raises her son to be the man that she couldn't get or attain. Based on the archetype of that guy, that black boy, if he's unique, he has more chance of aspiring in the corporate world because he didn't have the popularity or he wasn't of the archetype to be tempted to do other things. Right. But then if you naturally have a black boy who's confident, assertive in himself, seeing his mum maybe parentified or enmesh him to be the man that she needs, plus the archetype of being, I don't know, kind of like out there, he then feels the pressure to provide, and that's how you get into fraud and gangbanging and X, Y, and Z. Because I always say a lot of these guys that are doing fraud and gang leads, they're very smart men.
That's right.
They're just misled, and we don't have any male representatives to say, hey, the roast off is kind of dead now.
That's right.
A lot of the father figures or the leadership archetypes that we saw are on road. So I've even grown up with the mindset that the more savvier guys to the road, the more of a man he is. But then through my spiritual awakening, that's a level of effeminacy to me, because
true,
you shouldn't be walking around scared of your own environment.
Yes.
But then what happens is that, you know, you maybe come across a woman like myself that luckily doesn't come across as aggressive. I wouldn't mind going for a guy that people would see as unique, because that's my energy. But if I carried more of that kind of I'm a boss, aggressive energy,
you want a man with a bit more
noticed that a
bravado.
lot of women that they're on 50k plus, they're doing well in their careers, they have that I want to provide a role, but they're now still attracting the roadmen types because it's energy that aligns. They won't align with the black guy that's unique. So what happens is that, apart from looking at the breakdown of black boys in society raising into be corporate noble men, what happens is that their love interest is now split. You've got black women who are assertive in the workplace or within themselves, attracted to the archetype of men who could have been good in the workplace, but society hasn't allowed them to. So those now black women sometimes go for the roadmen, and those men are not equipped to stay at home, so the cycle begins. Or you get a woman like myself that maybe finds a black man that's seen as unique, or a lot of women like myself go for white men. But then the black men that are unique go for white women. So it's.
And when you say neeks, we're talking like nerds, right? Soft and so forth. Do you not find, though, Yasmin, that the identity that comes with perhaps, say, a roadman transpires into what a man is even in other societies, which is he will defend me, he will take charge, which maybe a neek may not be per se. And also, if you think of it in this sense, a black woman working in corporate on 50, 100, 200k is a woman who's in a position of power all day long. So when she comes home, she wants to be in her feminine energy. So therefore then needs a man who's gonna have that bravado, that, not aggression, but I'm a strong man,
but this
assertiveness.
is what I'm saying, is like, you can find that, but it won't be a black man.
Because white men are allowed to do that.
White men are allowed.
You can't come into the corporate space and then be your whole roadman essence from you'll be out.
The thing is also, so I've grown up working for a lot of like Essex companies, Kent Country, like Jack the Lads type. They're allowed to do that. And I feel like as a black woman who has maybe briefly dated a white person before, there's a certain level of like energy that white men are allowed to carry. And I think I've always said dating a white man is no different from dating an African man. The only difference is that an African man isn't allowed to be as audacious.
In the workplace.
But that's where Caribbean men fall short, because systematically they don't have the gateway to even be audacious in the corporate world. And then maybe in other ways they don't carry that macho kind of like energy. Maybe they have it in other ways. So a lot of black women, they go for white men because it's balanced.
So when you say the macho energy, you mean at home with their woman? Okay. I would have said maybe a Caribbean man is.
Oh no, so they do have that as well, but it's like it has to be in other places as well. It can't just
That's
be
right. It
at
can't
home,
just be
So
when you and I now go to your tech corporate meeting, am I able to show that same bravado masculinity in that environment like I do at home? Or am I quietened because
you don't know what you're talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about. It's different kind of people. I don't know how to mingle with that.
But would a woman understand that? Would a black woman understand? Okay, this is how the system's set up. So obviously my man can be a man here,
but I can't.
But
if I
in
bring
this
him,
environment, if I'm in this environment, so I'm not going to lose attraction. It's just the sense that he's having to adapt to this environment the same way I'm having to adapt.
That's very true. But even from like before I met my husband, it got to a point where there were certain guys I was dating. They weren't necessarily too road, but it's like, okay, I like you enough. I'm having a Christmas party. I would love to bring you as a +1, but I'm working because I like my job. But the money that I'm earning from working is for my survival. and my keeping my job is based on perception, I can't allow you to dilute my perception, and that's when the issue now arises.
So you couldn't bring it. You couldn't bring it.
I can't bring you because it's like I can love you, but it's like I had to learn very quickly that sympathy doesn't require access.
Yes, you gotta have the barriers, but then don't you find, in Yasmin, that this is now the very seed that creates the problem at home? Because I want to come to your
work events.
I want to come there. I want to see who you like. You're always coming on talking about Stephen from accounts.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why after a while I just wouldn't entertain those guys, because I don't think that I am me, but there's different aspects of my life, and I don't think it's fair that anybody should be hidden.
Yeah.
So I can understand that as a black man you face certain socioeconomical barriers and X, Y, and Z, but based on the system and the fact that the corporate or the white world groups us all together, I can't allow what you've socioeconomically been through to dilute my perception that's now going to F up my bag.
So basically, it's every man for himself.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah, it has to be, yeah.
There's certain men that maybe...
I think Reg is disheartened.
Obviously now
he's like, man, I had hope for the brothers. But Reg, you even said it earlier, that you got to get your levels.
Yeah,
you got to get your levels.
I mean, it depends, yeah. It depends on what level these guys are at.
Yeah.
If they were shotting, obviously you can't.
Yeah.
But then I wouldn't expect that you would be dating someone that was shotting.
No, exactly,
But yeah, if it was just maybe a run-of-the-mill guy, he's, I don't know, doing okay,
It even got to a point where, like, when I kind of got to some place in my career, I wouldn't even date men that had hair. To corporate, because I'll be like, it's like, the black men in corporate that had hair is because you've made your mark.
Right.
Now it's a bit different where it was like work diversity, you come with dreadlocks. But back in the day, any black man I saw with dreads is because you do your job, like you've made your mark.
So you can be
you. Can do it. But maybe like young boy coming up, you have dread.
No.
It's hard and it's a shame in it. But back in the day, it was like.
Yeah. You see, the thing is, Reg, Yasmin had a goal. She had a strategy, and she needed to get there. And if it was anything that was going to hamper that or get in the way of that, no. But I think
sometimes you have to be single-minded. I get it.
This is what the world breeds. I would teach my daughter. I'm in a place where I'm trying to teach my daughters, be needed. You know, be in a position where being with a man is important. Being with a partner. But also be very self-sufficient.
Yeah.
But not self-sufficient to a way that it scares away a partner.
Yeah.
And I think finding that line...
It's hard.
It's hard, you know. Would you say it would be easier back home? I mean, I know you have you been to Ghana?
No.
You've been to Africa?
No.
Have you been anywhere that's predominantly black?
No. Oh, Barbados, yeah.
Barbados.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say you're living in Barbados.
Yeah.
Would it be easier than dating the archetypal black man that perhaps doesn't fit into that man that you would go with, who's not unique, right? Because you're in a predominantly black country.
It depends on your position in the company and how palatable you are to white people. Yeah. So I think the number one thing that I've noticed that black women want is the reformed hoodman or roadman, what should I say. You know, you've had your time on the roads, you are somewhat you've got your stripes per se, but now you're reformed that you can use that same roadman antics and you've translated it into corporate terms. You're making your six figures. So it's like you've got a bit of both worlds. But the reason why that's so hard is because one, in the UK there's not a lot of black people. Systematically look at what we go through corporately, there's not a lot of black people making 50k. Then when you're talking about wanting a reformed hoodman that makes six figures in corporate that isn't aligned to it's not there, and the men that do reach that are the rappers.
Yes.
But the rappers only go for a certain archetype or physical type of woman.
Describe this woman.
Maybe some could say the video vixen look.
The Cardi B, the Megan Thee
Stallion.
Yeah,
and I love it's fine, but that's the statistic. So then what happens is these women now pay thousands to do their bodies to attract these men.
That's right.
But on the flip side, not all of them are going to make it.
Then exactly. So you spend thousands on your body to maybe attract these type of men. You may not get it, but then what happens is that you realise that those type of men, that kind of look, doesn't navigate well in corporate structures.
True. And also...
Unless you're naturally built like that, but...
Yeah.
You know,
also, what I'm saying from the male perspective,
now you're hypersexualized. Yes.
Those, not even... I'm saying that from the men, they don't all make it. Like, a lot of these guys that are on road, they don't, they don't make it to 25. They don't... You know what I mean? So, it's like... So what we're doing, we do, you know... what was that song? I want a soldier that's going to stand up for the Destiny Child.
Soldier, yes.
So we all want these roadmen types, yeah. But I remember because those were the kind of guys I was trying to escape when I was coming up. So I got to uni, and I came back, and a lot of them were on their faces, like they had all the props when they were younger, but it was almost like, and some of them weren't naturally that way. They had to lean into that because that was what we expected, didn't it? You had to. Part of your credibility about being black was that you had to be able to fight. You had to be capable of violence, or people had to believe it. Yeah, even if you weren't,
people had
to be afraid of you. Yeah, and that meant that anytime you come up in a confrontation, it was like it could escalate fast.
But even it's so funny you touched on that, because even that's something I had to learn, where you're a black woman, regardless of whether people see you as infantilized, you're still black. There's a level of suspected aggression. Forget about being a black man. If I have a problem with you or you, it'll be yo, Kwame, X, Y, and Z. But in the workplace, you can't just let me chat to you outside, because it's like,
she wants to fight.
So it's even like having to understand the corporate game in regards to like, okay, I have a problem with Emily at work. Let me just email her, paper trail. Hey Emily, okay? Because if not, it's now aggression. It's then also maybe BCC and HR, so they know what's aware. It's having a third party there for mediation.
That's right.
But coming from the road,
having a meeting in a room that has a glass door, so people outside can see.
So, but it's like coming from roads and maybe having that level of trauma-induced response of what's going. You can't bring that to the workplace.
That's right.
These are things that I had to learn. So the concept of time, no black people, Simon, come to work at 8:30 a.m. to be seen, to be working.
That's right.
It's having a dispute with somebody at work and having to understand and be burnt many times of paper trail, BCC and HR. These are things that you have to learn. It's very hard to kind of like navigate.
It is. I love that part about the reformed roadman.
Yes.
Would you say I'm a reformed roadman?
Yeah, you fit the archetype.
Really?
Yeah, okay. But not like road as in like pew pew pew. Maybe like maybe like reformed as in
because you shot any leg and stuff.
I would say maybe you are hood aware. You're not oblivious to what was going on.
What was happening? Yeah. Yes. Grew up in the area.
Yeah.
But made it out. Okay, interesting. What would you then say would be the solution then for black men? Because being reformed then is a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you get the best of both worlds, and then people from your culture still find you attractive.
Yeah.
So what is a very simple way of becoming reformed? You live in an area, it's full of roadmen, drugs being sold, fraud, all of that nonsense.
Yeah.
What's the angle?
Run away.
Move out.
Yes.
Get out of the area.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Don't tell anyone, just get out. Go and get yourself a remote role, or go and get yourself a job in the county of Oxford. But then it's hard, because then you face racism being up there. It's hard.
I think I tell every people is value your difference, right?
Yeah.
Because people think that difference is a problem, right? But if you think, all right, what have I got that they don't have?
Yeah.
So I started work. I've come into the corporate world quite late, so like in my 40s. But what I knew was that I had like lived experience, plus, and I understood the demographic that they were trying to attract. Yeah. So I would work in HR teams that were predominantly all white and female. But I'm coming in and like I can reach people that they can't reach. See what I mean? So I knew that there's value in my difference, and I had transferable skills. But if I didn't believe that, then it's hard for me to articulate it. So you have to start from a point where you know that you're coming with some difference, which is going to add value.
Which is beneficial.
Yeah.
Did you hear one key thing in that, Yasmin? That he was a black man working with just women in HR.
Yeah.
Someone had fun.
You think so, right? You think so, man.
Because it's techie. That's the number one industry that you have to mind what you say, how you say it. This is human resources. Yasmin, would you say tech is the industry to be in then? I want to earn more money. I'm ready to learn. Do I go into tech?
Yeah, tech is definitely the industry to be in, but it's quite diluted now. Not diluted, saturated, sorry.
Okay.
At the moment, like, everyone wants to be in it. Sure. I always make a joke that I feel like I was the one, because I was so open with, hey, I'm black in tech and six figures. I think from there, I definitely saw more open doors of like people wanting to be in tech and six figures, so kind of creating that blueprint at the moment. Yeah, but it's very much of a diluted industry, but I would say you don't have to be a software engineer, but definitely be tech adjacent. utilize tech tools and skills. Even if you do marketing, automation of like PR campaigns and ChatGPT and AI and stuff. So yeah.
To use those and learning, if you want to learn those, so you work in marketing and you want to integrate ChatGPT, AI and all of that, do you need to go and study it, or is this something you think you could learn?
I think you can learn with experience and maybe do short courses as well.
That's right. So people do want to see a qualification.
Yeah, a bit of paper.
Let me ask you, have you ever got into an interview where you had to pull out the certificate and show the employer evidence of what you've acquired?
Yeah.
You did?
But I've always been the only person that's had to do it on my team.
Because?
Black woman.
That's crazy.
Black woman that's 24 for a environment that has a degree in AI. I have a degree in AI, sure.
Yeah. We don't believe that. Get out of town. So how did you acquire your crib? How did you get your house?
As in like through mortgages?
Was it through working that you were able to acquire the money to go and get the house? Was there any help? Or you got the deposit yourself and just...
I wish I had help. I got the deposit myself, yeah. So my first steps on the property ladder was through shared ownership. So I had quite a lot of backlash. Why would you do shared ownership? But I said, come from a working class background, even the fact that at the time I could qualify for a mortgage was great. So I done shared ownership because I was always here, there, everywhere. Worked in central London. This was pre-pandemic. And I was like, I don't necessarily have enough money to buy. And when I do buy, I don't want to isolate myself.
Right.
So what I'm going to do is
to be able to move around.
So I kind of invested in shared ownership because I saw it as kind of like an investment that at least I'm paying rent into something that I own.
Yes.
And I was fortunate enough to have the ability to either staircase up or sell my share. So what I decided to do
what was your share?
25%.
25% shared ownership.
Yeah.
So that must have been fairly straightforward to get into then. Decent credit, small deposit.
It's weird because the deposit was about 6.5k.
Brilliant.
My salary at the time was 70k to apply for 330 to apply for a mortgage of 2580. Yeah, 300k.
Yes.
If that's how it works. So yeah, and then was there for 2 years. Then my career just went from six figures.
Skyrocket.
So I managed to then save up enough money for a deposit to purchase a 4-bed house.
Yes.
Worth 500k.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And this is all down to studying tech and getting a good money.
Yes.
And having walks around in Selfridges.
Yes.
With Mumsy.
Yeah.
Affirmation.
But I did buy the house with my husband though.
Yes, okay, yeah, very true.
But I mean, I had the deposit money by myself already.
But I think...
It helps.
It helps. Mortgage lenders want to know it's coming from 2 salaries.
So the house was approved on my salary alone, so I could qualify by myself. Obviously, my husband does, as an entrepreneur, and it just made it better. Yeah.
Yes, it does help. Because you know what you mentioned earlier about the reformed roadman and all the challenges that a black man still finds. Would you say that's probably why entrepreneurship has skyrocketed? Because if you create your own lane, then the corporates don't hold you back.
I think it's funnily enough, my husband is in a reform roadman. He's private school educated.
Yeah.
So he's totally different. So even though
I went to private school,
it's different though because he's private school educated, but in regards to class, we're very different.
Yeah.
I'm working class. He's middle class. So it still felt very much like a interclassal relationship, if that makes sense. Certain things or fears I had, he just didn't have.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's even a whole other conversation.
That's a good thing, though.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah. In regards to entrepreneurship, I also think that there's a rise of entrepreneurship because people are now aware that the money that you make on roads is not the money that it's a waste of time. It's not worth the bird. If that's what you mean.
That's right.
And also, I think there's a rise of influencer stardom and fame. So a lot of these reformed roadmen that are going into entrepreneurship, they still have that bit of an edge, doing their little TikToks on social media, having that persona. Okay. You can still create that persona.
Yes. Because the funny thing is, you mentioned a lot of them are rappers, and then the rappers then look for this type of...
Yeah.
Rapping is entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
It's poetry. You got to run your own business, make your own money and all of that. So, interesting stuff. Is it a challenge as a woman, having loads of money, dating?
Yeah. I met my husband at 25, just before I blew.
Yeah.
As young people say. So I kind of managed to secure somebody that I felt like, okay, cool, there's an element of he knows me.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's seen the vision and we work together, but he knows me. If I were dating now, I think I don't know where I would fit. Because I'm not just dating as somebody that earns a lot, I'm dating somebody that earns a lot and I'm a mum of 2.
Yes.
So I don't think I would even bother, to be honest.
It's tough, isn't it? Because you need to find someone that matches both you and your children and this lifestyle of motherhood. Honestly, I think it's really hard for mums, especially those. I mean, the term single mum, sometimes I don't like it because I think you still have the support from the father. But yes, you're co-parent. You know, you're a co-parent. Whether you're a co-parent or a single mum, I think it's tough because there's that whole challenge of I meet somebody, I get to know them, I love them. Right, when do I introduce them to my kids?
I think,
And then when I introduce to the kids, if that dynamic goes south,
again, it's a failed. I feel like even with the term single mum, I only really feel like what I've experienced is that there are some men that don't like women calling themselves single mums because these women are self-sufficient. But if you were a woman who's a single mum and there was a dependency on the father of your child, you're allowed to call yourself a single mum.
Yes.
So it's almost an ego thing.
Yes.
Like if I were to be separated and call myself a single mum, it probably would cause an uproar because it's like, oh, you were married or... But technically, you know, a single mum is a mother that's legally...
caring for the kids.
Not even like, to me, a single mother is a woman that is unmarried and it's not about support. There's different types.
I think there's a stigma between if you were married and it didn't work out to being unmarried. So unmarried suggests that you didn't, you know, you got into relations without having care and consideration and anyone. Whereas if you were married and it didn't work out, then you're kind of seen through a different lens.
Yeah, you tried and it just didn't work.
I definitely do believe that even with the, like, I'm currently separated at the moment, and one of my fear was that I've managed to smash so many glass ceilings as a black woman. It was my fear of, if I'm now going through this process of separation, will I just be seen as a baby mum or a single mum? I haven't felt that way. People haven't seen me that way, but it's still just a negative connotation.
I think it's the same that we've found with the racial angle. It's going to be about someone getting to know you. And then they will see beyond that. But unfortunately, there's the initial thought. But I always believe the right person will dig deeper.
Definitely.
You know, a person may see me first and think, oh, Kwame, I've seen him, I saw him on TV, I've got the idea of who he is. But if they really want to, like what my partner did was, let me get to know him. And then saw you're completely different from that, and then make their own mind up. So
any selection decision we make here, we're only doing it with limited data, limited information. So it kind of, that's when all the biases and the stereotypes come in. So, I mean, that's why you've got to kind of take a bit more time, and then you can make like the right decision.
But the problem is time is limited. People don't have time. But you're so right. I mean, you can be with someone, Yasmin, right? This is what I found in relationship world is who I know you to be as, say, Yasmin, just working in tech, is a completely different person to wife Yasmin, who's completely different to wife Yasmin with 2 kids working in tech. We're constantly evolving and changing. And I always find for 2 people who are from different worlds to then circumnavigate all of this together, it's tough. But you know, it's really good to hear a successful person doing well, black woman, young as well. I miss that age. I really miss that.
I didn't see myself as young. I thought old, but 31.
So did I then. Don't worry. Half a century, you will look back and go, oh, okay. But it's good though. Look after yourself. You're still young. You're still fun and doing your thing.
And it's always nice to be, you're in a corporate environment, you tell them how old you are and they get shocked. Like, oh my God.
Are you really?
You have an ego boost.
You're the same age as my dad. That's what I hear.
Your kids and then they're like, of course you look your age.
Exactly.
So you ain't getting that yet. But
soon come. What's next for Yasmin then? I mean, you're doing well. You've got your property, you're a mum, you're in tech, you're married, you've got kids. I mean, you need to go to Ghana. That's definitely something you need to do. But what's next for Yasmin?
Do you know what? I feel like what's next for me is more so in regards to like personal development, in regards to like my spirit, because it's very easy to get burnt out and it's very easy to be hyper independent, always on the go. So it's really enough. I would say my goal going forward for the next stages of my life is recognizing myself as a human and always just being connected to the bigger things in life, like my motherhood and my relationship and stuff. That's one of what I want to focus on. So going through the journey of always doing things through love.
Brilliant. Love that.
Closer to God.
I think ultimately that's where true happiness stems from. But it's good if you get the money as well. Get the money and the spiritualism and you're good. I think you should write a book.
Oh, wow, okay.
I think you should write a book. I think you're very well articulated, very educated. I think your strategy alone would be something I think a lot of even women will buy into, irrespective of colour.
Passing on, just even for any young person, just how can you start off with a plan, how to navigate, all the things that you explained to us. Like I was thinking, like if I'd have known that when I was younger, then I could have made the right turns and whatnot.
Yeah, because it's got you where you are at your age. And Reg, I think you made all the right turns, bro. We wouldn't have you here today. Do you know how many young kids this gentleman has helped? I defended you on TikTok when that lady made that comment. I was well, Reg is a refined gentleman, not a reformed road man.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
He works in diversity and inclusion and has helped many a young person with training and employment. That's what I said.
I need to do my promo stuff, man.
Listen, that's the best kickback I can give. After going on TV, there's a certain reformed way I'm trying to respond, but there's another side of me.
We've done it as well. We work together.
Yes.
Yeah, we help those young people.
Yeah,
and we're gonna keep doing that.
We're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Is there anything you want to share? Handle, a plug, podcast, radio?
I've got a book out, my ebook that was based on my master's dissertation.
Oh, brilliant.
It's called How the Two Worlds Collide: Data, Science, and DevOps.
Okay.
I've also in the process of starting my own Web3 and cloud consultancy.
Fantastic.
So watch that space.
What would that entail, briefly?
Consultancy in regards to how to consult people or companies wanting to get into Web3 or DevOps or the cloud AI space.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's in the works at the moment.
How to make the money doing what you do.
Yeah.
And it's going to be free.
What, the consultancy?
The class to learn how or...
Yeah, the aim is to get companies to sponsor so I can teach.
Fantastic.
People don't have to pay. I used to do that before COVID.
Yeah.
I'm looking at starting up my own podcast, mostly talking about motherhood and different challenges or what money could buy. So I've been very transparent that I've got an au pair living with me.
Mm-hmm.
People just what is that? Like an au pair?
What is an au pair?
It's French, isn't it?
It's French.
That's right.
I've got a living nanny.
Yeah.
My daughter starts private school.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of what being on 6 figures is cool, but what can it actually do beyond the
how does it change your lifestyle?
Yeah. Fantastic. Cool. Anything else you want to share?
No, I'm good.
You've enjoyed it?
Yes.
It's been a good talk.
Very good talk.
And this is what I love about doing this. I learn more.
Good.
So I've learned a lot from you, and definitely in tech that is saturated, but I can still go and collect money.
Yeah, you can. There's money to be made.
Fantastic. Well, it's been a pleasure having you, Yasmin.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming down, and thanks to Barclays for hosting us once again.
Yes, big thank you to Barclays, and shout out to Cynthia.
We'll be seeing us soon.
We'll be seeing her soon. Here on the KB Talk Show, we're continuing to give edutainment, continue to give gems, and inspire all of those who are watching. Thank you for watching. We've got some more heat coming for you. Stay tuned, stay notified.